Lochiel Engineering, little business in Lochiel. If you don't know where that is, it's just this side of Winton. If you're going down the road, you'll see us right on the corner. If you blink, you'll miss us. The Lochiel Engineering has been around for a few decades, and Colin and Chris bought it in 2000. And in 2000, the business was predominantly agricultural general engineering. And in the off season, the guy would build the odd trailer. When Colin came along, he looked at the product and he thought, I could actually do something with this. I could actually engineer a trailer that could meet and exceed New Zealand standards. And what he did was, he decided that that's where we're going to take this business. We're going to build trailers. And he did. He built, the business has built some amazing trailers over the years. And I've only been with the company 12 months. 6 months of those were week about, and moved here in January. And in January we decided that we were going to take this business on a bit of a journey. And the journey was from good to great. And funny enough, Scott walked in the door, and I thought to myself, not another sales rep. And he says to me, hey, have you heard about this lean management? And I said, no mate, never heard of it. And he started talking about it, and it just resonated. You know, it was actually what we were looking for. It was the perfect vehicle for us to start our journey. And the more and more he talked about it, it just, you know, I thought this is perfect. So Colin and I talked about it. We talked to Scott about it, and he says, come along, see what you think. You don't have to commit, just come along, see what you think. And that's what we did, and we're still here, and we love it, in all honesty. So, you know, out of that, we didn't have a lot of, well, in fact, we didn't have any processes, to be fair. We were pretty much, everything was job related, so task driven, no real processes in place. So this has been a great journey for us to start in. And our objectives have always been to implement beneficial systems to all our areas and to embrace change. Now, we have an ageing workforce as well, and when we started talking about change, I thought I was going to get hit. Seriously, you know, you could see it in their eyes, and they were like, oh, you're joking, mate. But, you know, when the guys came along to this in the afternoons, Clint really changed their whole ideas about where we were taking the business. And, you know, for us, it's to work together producing a business plan and product range to be proud of. And it's about exceeding our customers' expectations. And you know, I think one of the great things that Colin talked about was he wanted to be in business in 50 years' time, and this is a great vehicle for it. We wanted to minimise all our wastage, and we had a lot of wastage. If you can imagine, when you cut a piece of steel, there's always a piece left over. So it was about, how do we mitigate that? How do we use up that little piece of steel? And so, yeah, we worked around those processes to have a seamless interface with our stakeholders, and that's everybody that we talk to. Our customers, we would write down information on bits of paper. That bit of paper would end up anywhere. Information was getting lost, real details were getting lost, and so when the customer came to pick up his trailer, it was kind of what he wanted. And we were pretty good at talking him into it. So it was the best thing he could ever own. So, you know, it all worked. Not really. So there was, yeah, some real opportunities here for us. To be motivated and really innovative in all areas, and that was by communicating, allowing the guys, the entire team, to come up with some real ideas that could move the business forward, and to create a strategic customer base. That meant that we didn't just focus on our current customers, that we actually looked outside that market. We've also looked at Australia. We've looked at opportunities of not just trailers, but also all the consignments, all the components, sorry. So being almost like a retailer into New Zealand. And this one here, to be successful beyond 50 years. So, you know, a real key indicator for us. Why for us? Obviously to create sustainable processes. Again, we didn't have a great deal of processes. It was one of the things that we really quite enjoyed actually. It was a real challenge. We all knew how to get from A to Z, but we didn't actually have any processes in place. If you could ask any one person within the business, they all had a different story. There was always a different beginning and there was always a different end, and you can guarantee the entire middle was just a bit of a cluster. So when we rolled out the brown paper, it was quite interesting. Everybody got involved and it was like, what do we do there? How did we get from there to there? And so it was really quite interesting. We started to identify lots of little things that we didn't do well, all the things that we thought we did really well. And then of course we identified a lot of wastage. And in fact it actually was into the thousands of dollars of wastage, tens of thousands in some cases. And this is in our bill of materials. It was, we had a lot of stock that we were overstocking. We had stock that was just being misplaced, unused, and then we'd buy more. So just to replace the ones that we couldn't find because we could. To be efficient with our time and processes, we've got guys that, there's 11 of us in total, and we can have, I don't know, maybe an hour each per day looking for stuff, and that's probably on the low side. So on average, yeah, you could lose an entire day a week, I guess, looking for stuff. Staff growth and involvement. This allowed us to empower our staff, provide them with a bit of a process for them to grow and develop within the business, and have them more involved in what we were doing. Better communication throughout the business, and better margins and profitability, and that's what we're all looking for. Program objectives. One of the main objectives for us was great communication, and the very first point, and that's with our stakeholders, as I mentioned before. Customers coming through the door was getting all that information, key to providing them with the right product at the end of the process. Improving our working conditions and our culture was really, really key. Our entire workforce were all over the place, to be fair. No real culture, and a real distrust, I guess, and to be absolutely process driven rather than task driven in our wastage. And this is our team, our motley crew. There's 11 of us, and that's the entire group, so that's same perspective. These are the guys that are going to help drive the business forward, not just the management team. So this is our central board, and obviously we took on the example of trailers. Patrick came in one morning and he goes, "Oh, I've got a fantastic idea for our boards." Right to the point that he's even put tail lights on them. And then one morning I came in and he was holding a tow coupling at the bottom, and I said, "Mate, you're not going to screw tow couplings to them, are you?" He said, "No, I'm just going to take a picture." Fantastic. But, you know, a lot of work went into these, and we didn't have a lot of wall space. In fact, when we did our brown paper, we actually put gibboard over our entire windows because we had no space. And that wall there was covered in carpet and photos. 10 years of 10 years of old technology. We had, so we peeled all that off, painted the ceilings, and that was the end process for us in terms of our pillars. Challenges for us, we had quite a few challenges actually, to be fair. The outset was convincing the staff, and as I said before, this was the perfect vehicle for that. One of the big issues we had was communication, was trust, communication, retention, and their environment. And when you put all these together, it was quite a massive task for us to undertake. The other was time. Our time for us was huge, but like you guys, like finding the time to do all this sort of stuff was absolutely huge. But it was something Clint said, and he mentioned that lack of time is just an excuse. It's not a reason. And let's face it, he was right. And when I look back, I can honestly say that I can't expect the team to actually carry through this if I can't do it. So yeah, you just got to do it. You just got to get on and do it. There's no excuses. Immediate benefits for us. The most immediate benefits for us has been the unbelievable change in our staff. They have just grown, and they're chomping at the bit for us to continue this throughout the whole business. We've had to put reins on them because, as you know, if you carry on without it being part of a process, you get all these things done in the wrong places, and you get boards built in the wrong places. But it's been absolutely rewarding right across the board. And empowerment to our staff has been just incredible. And that's actually been key to the whole rollout, to be fair. The guys did a pretty good job of their bay. In fact, it was a really good job. It was really, really impressive. You couldn't find anything in their bay initially. It was an absolute mess. Their first score was 11. And when Clint come through, they scored 58. So that's quite a transformation. And when you see them humming in their workplace, you know that you're on the right path. So yeah, thank you, Clint. Thank you, Scotty, and Venture Southland. Absolutely wonderful. Cheers. And good luck, everyone.
Okay, guys, we're running a little bit behind time, but just a couple more minutes. First of all, I'm going to finish off. My final comment is people. And Eddie, what a great way to finish up, hearing from the people on the floor, on the ground, who are actually doing the work. Ultimately, my program is about people. We don't employ robots, we employ beautiful people. And what makes us beautiful is that we are all different. Everybody's different. It's the spice of life. Sadly, if you put a lot of different people, they're going to do things in their own way. They're going to try hard, they're going to work hard, they're going to be passionate, but at the end of the day, you're going to create what we call inconsistency. The word is process. So what we need to do to harness people, to create efficiency, it's through process, through the way we work and the environment in which we work. But it comes down to people. When we win the hearts and minds of the people, they will take this lean program and they'll run with it because they are right. It is absolute common sense. It's about creating a better environment and a win-win situation where the people doing the work win, and of course the organization wins, and of course the customer wins. And that's what this program is all about. Just in closing, I think Steve wants to make a couple of final closing comments, but from my point of view, I couldn't do this work with a great cluster of companies without the support of Venture Southland. The partnership has been fantastic. Long may it continue. I'm just the guy that stands up here on the day and gets on the plane back to Auckland. Venture Southland are the people that get you find companies, people together, that keep the process running. And when I'm finished with this cluster, Venture will be instrumental in giving you guys the support mechanisms to help you forward on your journey. And of course, prepare the cluster for 2016, which I'm looking forward to. So look, thanks to the businesses that I've worked with, you guys have been great. You give me the energy to go for another year. Thanks to Venture Southland. Thanks.